Hi everybody and welcome to Barefoot TV, the weekly online TV program which provides you with easy access to knowledge, wisdom and guidance from experts, leaders and spiritual advisors to support you to transform, grow and connect with all things love, soul and spirit in your everyday lives. For those of you watching for the first time, I am Leanne, the Barefoot Medium. I'm an international medium, channel, twin flame, transformational coach and author. And I am absolutely passionate about reconnecting people with their loved ones who've passed over, spiritual guides and their intuition, as well as providing access to practical knowledge and guidance, tools and techniques you can use in your everyday lives to embrace what it is you love and what brings you into connection with your joy, so you can be more of your authentic self. Now kick off your shoes, sit back, relax and enjoy this episode where I am joined by James Goey Jr., aka the Attract Money Guru, a best-selling author of How to Attract Money Using Mind Power, which sets a new standard for concise, no-nonsense, straight-to-the-point self-help books. James condenses and simplifies abstract metaphysical concepts and powerful success principles, making this life-changing information accessible to everybody. Now, James is joining me today to not only share his story, but to also talk about a topic that I'm sure everyone watching is interested in: attracting money. So welcome, James.
Hello, Leanne. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Pleasure. Can you share with viewers a little bit about your story and how you've become the Attract Money Guru?
Certainly. I'm in the U.S. and I moved to California from New Jersey, from the East Coast to the West Coast, about 40 years ago. And within the first couple of years or so of being here, I started finding my first books on metaphysics and mind power, law of attraction, and paranormal, things of this nature. And the subject really gripped me, especially the idea that I could use my mind in certain ways to actually make things happen out in the world. Mm-hmm. And one of the early books that I read was Think and Grow Rich. So I immediately recognized that I could use mind power, is what it is really, to attract money. And that was my greatest need really in the early days. And so the subject just gripped me, and I was collecting up books, swap meets and yard sales and used bookstores and everywhere I could find books, thrift stores, and just dove into this study. And within a short time, first couple of years or so, getting into it, I started teaching it around San Diego on the New Age book circuit. And but one of the things that really intrigued me was that people, even who had been doing this longer than I had, that had been in the study, they would routinely ask me questions like, I've got the relationship of my dreams or the job of my dreams, or I used visualization to find the perfect house, but why doesn't this stuff work for money? And I thought it was an odd question, because I know it does work for money because I used it for money. And so that's what led me to actually write the book eventually. It took me 9 years from beginning to end to actually write the book once I got it started, which was many years into this. And but I read hundreds of books in that time, collected up hundreds of quotes, used 160 of them in the book. And that's basically, what led me to being the quote-unquote Attract Money Guru, is that I do feel I have written the most concise and usable book on this subject. There are other books on this subject, but none that I have seen that are as concise and that are as usable. People can start right away just with the reading of this book. They can read it in a sitting or two, and they can actually understand this subject and start applying mind power.
Awesome. And I, I want to pick up on what you talked about people saying, I've used visualization for relationships or jobs, or worked with mind power as you describe it, or law of attraction as some people may also be aware of it. What do you feel is the biggest block or challenge for people around money and being able to attract money into their physical experience?
Right. Well, at the bottom of it all really is our belief systems, our subconscious beliefs, beliefs we have about ourselves and about the world and about money, particularly, that we may not even know that we have. But everyone has been basically programmed from childhood on up, and that things are a certain way, the world works a certain way, money is earned in a certain way. We grow up, depending on our family, with the idea that it's plentiful or that it's scarce, that it's easy to come by or that it's hard to come by. And those are basically the, generally speaking, the beliefs we carry into our adult life. And so if those are not supportive of attracting a lot of money on a regular basis, which most people's are not, most people are in the struggle and lack mode, then that's gonna be a major problem. So, and a major challenge and obstacle. When we learn this understanding, though, that it is our subconscious beliefs to a large degree that moderate the flow of money to us, then we can change our subconscious beliefs, and it's not that hard of a process. That's the good news.
Yeah. And, I love that you talk about the subconscious beliefs, because, there's a lot of beliefs that we do grow up with. Like, I remember hearing money doesn't grow on trees, or no, you can't have that. You need to work hard to earn your money, or whatever else. I think I remember being told that I wasn't good with money. And so it creates that story or that program, like you talked about, that we don't realize is running underneath our thoughts, our emotions about money, or our feelings about money, and even the actions that we take to make that story or that program true in our physical world. And if we're not able to sit down and consciously look at, okay, why is it that I'm having difficulty or a challenge or struggle with money, or it's hard to get, sit down and really consciously explore what are the unconscious stories or programs that you've got running, and acknowledge them. What would you share with people about the easiest way to kind of look at what those programs are and to start clearing them or changing them or transforming them?
Right. Well, one easy way to really start to understand what our subconscious beliefs are is to look at what our conscious beliefs are, because there's a lot of overlap there. Even so, some of it's out of our conscious mind. It's more murky in the darkness, but a lot of it's right there in our day-to-day beliefs. If we think money is hard to come by, if we think it's who you know and what you know and business cycles and the luck of the draw and the economy at large that's affecting us, then those are your subconscious beliefs, because they've been compounded and impounded into our subconscious minds over and over and over. Beyond that, we can simply just look at our surroundings, look at our habits with money, look how we spend money. Do we do it in a fearful way, which indicates that we have subconscious and maybe conscious belief that we might not have enough money later? There's not enough. We better conserve, and we can't, be more free with money. So, and the good news is that, yes, we can figure out some of that programming by deduction or in other ways, observation, and just, understanding, well, if this is so, if I act this way, what kind of belief would I have to be acting that way? And so we can kind of figure a lot of that out. But a good thing for people is to know that, in the way I teach this anyway, they don't have to know your subconscious beliefs about money. Indeed, you probably never could. You never could dig up every last little memory of some off comment some relative said that you overheard when you were 4 years old or something. But the good thing is that the subconscious mind is very pliable, and it's very open and susceptible to repetition. So we can actually put in new subconscious beliefs over time that will displace and crowd out and invalidate the old beliefs, because you can't be thinking, for instance, positively and negatively about money in the same moment. So you're one or the other. So if you start determining what kind of beliefs you need to have to be able to attract the kind of money you want to attract, then you can start using the various, techniques, think and feel as if, speak as if, affirmations, whatever they may be. I cover that all in the book. But you can start using those. And so you're basically turning away from the old, turning towards the new, and in the process, the old, in this case, the old subconscious beliefs, they kind of fall away of their own dead weight, because they are, over time, they're replaced with their exact opposites, and both cannot exist at the same time in any, one is going to be the dominant one, and we make the positive ones the dominant ones, and we become much more proficient at attracting money.
Yeah, and I really like how you talk about repetition with affirmations and thoughts, because it does change those programming or the story that you've got playing out around money. And you can tell yourself that you feel abundant or you are abundant. How does emotions and how you feel play into shifting that story? And I'm kind of focused on that. Where you place your energy is what you start attracting. So we want to be focusing on the fact that, yes, you're abundant. There's a limitless supply of money in the universe for you to attract and bring in. You've just got to allow it in through your programming, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, whatever it might be. So what role do emotions or feelings play in that?
Well, it's huge. I mean, emotions, feelings, that is the motive power. That is what drives us. That's what drives our behavior. And actually, it's what drives the behavior of our subconscious minds and the universe. So the way I like to explain it to people is thought is like a blueprint. We're telling the universe what we want. So it's a picture, but there's no energy in just a picture. It's what meaning / feeling we ascribe to it. So if we have a picture and a concept of, I could have $1 million in the bank, but we could feel, that would be so great. It would give me more freedom. Or, well, I don't know how to handle money, and all my relatives are going to be asking me now, and taxes, and this is going to be terrible. So it's the same picture, but it's a different feeling. And in the one way, we're driving it away or we're attracting it to us. So we want to develop a positive feelings to be able to consistently attract the money we want to attract. And part of the way we do that is by thinking about the end results we want. Think end results is how I call the technique. We want to think about what it is we want to come about, and since we want it to come about, and obviously we're going to feel good about that. We have the desire, and we want to start to feel how we're going to feel when we have it. So we really kind of condition and fool our subconscious minds, because the subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's imagined. It can't tell the difference between. So when we imagine what it is we want, and that tells our subconscious and the universe what we want, and then we continually have all of these good feelings and emotions and expectancy and excitement, etc. regarding that, that's the power that puts all the gears into motion to then bring that picture into fruition, where we can see it here in the physical realm, because we've already created it in the energy realm, but we want to see it come here, and how it gets here is it's propelled by energy. That's what brings it here, positive energy.
Yeah, and I love how you bring that feeling, or the why you want to attract money, because that is what motivates us and keeps us focused and on track, and thinking about what having that abundance and that wealth and that money will bring you and allow you to experience or be in the world. And so I really love how you talk about that and bring in magic. One of the techniques I use is, some of my clients are very physical based and have trouble visualizing. So I often talk about a universal treasure box, where you basically just grab a box that you can physically put in your space, that you write down how much money you want to attract and your why, and you put it in your universal box, and you then keep focusing each day on taking an action that you're intuitively guided to take, or you're drawn to take through your emotions of what feels joyful and happy and loving. If you're feeling any different, you're going in the opposite direction of your treasure box. Yeah? And that's kind of the sign that you're going in the opposite direction. Come back and get focused and revisit your treasure box every week, every day if you need to get yourself focused. Okay, this is what I'm attracting. This is why I'm attracting it. So for those of you watching who need a physical and have trouble with visualizing, get yourself a universal box of some description that feels like treasure, that you can, start working with. So I love that, James, and how you bring in the magic and the focus with it, because we need to know the why. And I think a lot of people don't know their why.
Right. You want to know what you're going to do with the money, how it's going to change things, how you're going to feel. Is it going to give you freedom? Can you now help people you want to help? And because that's what really drives us. It's not the money itself. But if I can toss in two more, because I love that box idea, but I want to toss in two more that I use.
Yeah,
and one is that I have this little tufted, like cloth, padded, bejeweled box. It's about maybe 5 inches square. And I've had that for years on end. And what I do is every penny or dollar or quarter or nickel that I find on the street, free money from the universe, I've been putting it into that box for years on end. And every time I see that box and I can open it and it reminds me, and I've had to cash out, and put bills in and take some of the, because it would fill the box and it would be overflowing. And that reminds me that the universe is always just tossing money at my feet and will continue to do so. And then another thing is I have a special envelope that I keep and I've had this for years on end, all of my lottery winnings. If I win $1, $5, $10, and it's huge now, it's, hundreds of dollars. And it's just another reminder that there's one other avenue. So anything that's visual, those $1 million bills, and sometimes there's an advertisement on the back, sometimes there's not. Put one of those up on your refrigerator. Anything that's a visual to remind you of what you're after or of what's happening and how money's already flowing to you, it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, I love those extra tips. And you've reminded me that was something I did when I was in my home country, which is obviously Australia. And so I'm going to bring those back. So thank you very much for that reminder, James.
Certainly.
Can you give viewers, 2 or 3 tips for how they can start working with their thought patterns or their mindset to be able to think and grow rich or bring in money and attract it into them today?
Right. Well, the first thing is, the first chapter in the book is on desire. And most people will tell you, well, sure, I want more money. I desire more money. But for most people, their desire is not strong enough. And I want people to understand that if they don't increase their desire to the point where they actually start doing something, they actually start reading books like mine, watching videos. If they're into, in person, go to seminars. If you're into a private coach, whatever it may be. But until your desire is strong enough, you're never going to do that. So, and I talk in there about it. It's not hard to increase desire. You start to think more and more about what it is you want. You start to get a little more clear. You start to study mind power and the law of attraction and things, and you'll start to be convinced more and more that it's actually possible for you to attract more. And all of this will help increase your desire. That's ground zero. If you don't increase your desire for more than you have now, you're just going to keep getting basically what you've got, because that's your level of desire. And second is, we already talked about understanding the power of belief and how to develop that. One that I might mention, though, you mentioned mindset, and there's actually a chapter in the book on money mindset. And I want people to understand my concept of this is that it's every single thought and feeling, basically, and of course the subsequent images that arise and words we speak, but it's really the core is thoughts and feelings. So your money mindset is every single thought or feeling you have about money in any way, shape, or form. And that includes whether it's your money or your neighbor's money or governments or big businesses. So the concept is any thought or feeling having anything to do with money. And if you want to become a much stronger money attractor, you want to have, to the best of your ability, all of your thoughts and feelings having to do with money in any way, shape, or form, yours, taxes, big corporations taking advantage of, whatever it is, you want all of your thoughts and feelings to be positive, if at all possible. If not positive, then secondary level would be at least neutral. But really try to avoid, and there's a lot to criticize. There's a lot we can criticize about governments and big businesses, and even how our neighbors, earn money, or they owe us money and we have negative feelings. There's a lot to criticize. But by doing so and indulging in that negativity associated with money, then in our subconscious minds, we're mixing up the concept of money with all this negativity. It's going to drive money away. If people just understand that, then they will really increase their money attracting ability. And another really easy one is I call it speak as if. In the book, always strive to speak as if those financial circumstances that you want to come about either are now or will be reality. People need to understand that they are actually speaking their finances and their lives into existence through every word that's reconditioning and reprogramming their subconscious minds. It comes out of our mouths showing us how we think and feel, but it goes back in our ears reinforcing that. And so stop indulging in this negative talk about, I hope I don't lose my job, or I never have enough money. That's the creative process. So always strive to speak as if those financial circumstances you want to come about either are now or will be reality. Even that one technique can completely transform your life. But there's just a few right there that are just life-changing and bank account changing if you apply them. They're very easy. You see, I've explained them in just a few words, but you need to apply them. And if you do, if people apply them, they absolutely will work for them.
Yeah. And I love how you keep it so simple and easy, because the reality is that it is simple and easy. We just make it complicated sometimes, or if we're not conscious of our thoughts or our feelings or even our actions that we're taking each day, then, we can move in the opposite direction of what we want, or we can allow it to come in really quickly and easily, because the reality is it already exists for you because you think of it. You just need to allow it in. So I love that. Thank you so much, James, for sharing
certainly.
And sharing those really practical techniques. And I've loved chatting to you. Can you share with viewers where they can connect with you further, or where they can find a copy of your book?
Certainly. The best thing to do is to just go to my website. That's my name, James, GOIJR.com, JamesGoyJr.com. And there they can connect with me through the social buttons anywhere they'd like to. And but on the website there, I have my Mind, Power, and Money e-zine, which is a free monthly e-zine I've been publishing for about 11 years now, every month. And people can subscribe to that for free. And it's a great way to get a positive motivation and information every month. And also when they do that, they'll get a free PDF copy of my book, Attract Money Forever, which is a companion book to how to attract money using mind power. And it's a great resource They get the entire book when they subscribe to the free monthly e-zine. And so that's really the best way, is just to go to my website to get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. We could talk about money and attracting money all day. Yeah. So thank you so much. I've loved chatting with you and having those beautiful reminders of where our focus and attention is drawn every day is really important if we're wanting to attract money and wealth and abundance, and to be able to do the things that we want to do in life and to support us in creating the life that we want. So for those of you joining me, if you want to connect with me further, jump onto my website, thebarefootmedium.com.au. You can also subscribe to my Barefoot Tribe, where you get special offers and information and downloads or free meditations or ebooks each month. So jump on my website, or if you're interested in transformational coaching programs, then you can also connect to me through that. Thank you so much, and wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing and wherever you're at in your journey, make sure you're focused on attracting the money and abundance that you desire, and be conscious of that in every single moment of your day. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Barefoot TV.